And there are growing fears for some Texas college students as they work to navigate the end of the DREAM Act.
Yeah, the decades-old law allowed undocumented students to pay in-state tuition rates. And now they have until Thursday to submit documentation showing their lawful presence in the United States and potentially face higher out-of-state tuition rates.
Here's KVUE's Kelsey Sanchez.
Mariette, who didn't want us to use her last name for privacy reasons, says come fall, she'll be starting her senior year at UT Austin.
I was going to be a double major with biology and Spanish, and I wanted to go into the medical field after.
Mariette sounds uncertain because right now her future is
a lot of fear, a lot of what's going to happen. What is this last year going to look like? Am I going to be able to do this last year?
On July 11th, the university asked students who are undocumented for proof of their lawful presence to determine whether they're eligible for in-state tuition. Mariette says she got the letter.
I have to make a lot of phone calls for sure still.
It's a dilemma undocumented students are facing after the state decided to end its DREAM Act last month, which allowed them to pay in-state tuition. It came after the U.S. Justice Department sued Texas over the policy, a move state advocates and teachers call an attack on education.
The Trump administration is committed to a mass deportation agenda that will inflict irreversible harm on our students, their families, and the educational communities we love. Now he is turning his sights towards our dreamers' access to higher education via in-state tuition programs.
On Tuesday, they gathered on Zoom to talk impacts. President of the Texas State Teacher Association, Olivia Molina, is also a middle school teacher and says there's a growing fear of the future her students can have.
I had kids that were worried about why go to high school if there's nothing to do after.
So as students like Mariette try to look ahead,
I usually am a shy, closed off person, and this is like nerve-wracking to me, but I know that it's important to have our voice heard.
Now, since last week, I've been asking the university through an official spokesperson questions about this process of determining residency and legal status, things like how the documentation and information they collect will be used, what will happen once that information is submitted, and what are the consequences if students miss the July 24th deadline. The university is not directly answering those questions and are declining to comment. Mark and Quita.
All right, thank you so much. Our Kelsey Sanchez here in studio with us tonight. And Kelsey, thank you. And students who actually received that letter that Kelsey was talking about are in limbo right now. They are waiting to see whether they'll pay in-state or out-of-state tuition.
Yeah, we want to give you a look at the differences here. So according to UT's website, tuition varies by college. For example, undergraduate business students enrolled in at least 12 credit hours pay more than $6,700 per semester if they're a Texas resident. Non-residents pay more than $25,000 per semester.
According to the Higher Ed Immigration Portal, Texas is one of 7 states that doesn't allow in-state tuition or state financial aid for undocumented students. 3 other states have policies that ban undocumented students from enrolling in all or some public universities.